Bengal violence face-off peaks. BJP seeks NIA probe in Murshidabad riots.
SIT अगर जांच भी कर ले तो क्या आएगा, कोई एक हाइपोथेसिस आएगा, क्या इन्वेस्टिगेशन होगा? जहां पे चीफ मिनिस्टर बोल चुके हैं कि ये हुआ है, अगर उन्होंने कुछ बोल चुके हैं उसके बाद सीट होके क्या अलग कुछ बोल पाएगा क्या?
Chief Minister Mamata blames Center for Violence.
इन्वेस्टिगेशन के लिए हम लोगों ने सीट तैयार किया है, लेट देम फाइंड आउट, लेकिन उसको सबको घर हम बांग्ला का बाड़ी बना देंगे.
Governor Bose to visit riot-hit Murshidabad.
I am going to the field to see for myself the realities in the field. Only then I will be able to make up my mind on the future course of action and give reports to whoever is concerned to implement things.
Murshidabad violence face-off. Top focus on 5 Live.
There's a sensational charge that's been made by the Bharatiya Janata Party in Bengal. Bengal BJP Chief and Union Minister of State Sukanta Majumdar has said that call for riots was made from a loudspeaker of the mosque in that area, and he has quoted eyewitness accounts saying that he's gone a step ahead, saying that once the BJP comes to power, they will make sure that religious places are never used for anti-national activities. Now, Union Minister of State for Education and BJP Bengal President Sukanta Majumdar has gone on record to say that if the BJP forms government in power, it will ban such activities in religious places. He also insists that it is that banned organization, the Popular Front of India, a radical Islamist organization that had been active in Murshidabad ahead of the violence. So while Bengal Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee blames outside forces from across the border in Bangladesh, and blames the centre and the border security force, the state BJP is blaming radical Islamist organizations like the BJP and saying a mosque loudspeaker was used to make certain slogans. We'll get you more on that story. I'm Gaurav Sawant as always. Let's get started. There's a sensational charge that's been leveled by the Bharatiya Janata Party in the Murshidabad violence case. The BJP has gone on record to say that the call for riots came from a loudspeaker in Murshidabad, a loudspeaker at a mosque. And this claim has been made by Union Minister of State for Education and Bengal BJP President Sukanta Majumdar. He said that if the BJP forms a government in West Bengal, it will ban such activities at religious places. But he didn't just stop at saying mosque loudspeakers were used ahead of the riots or the violence in Murshidabad. He then went on to say that banned radical Islamist organization, the Popular Front of India, was active in Murshidabad ahead of the violence that took place. Remember, 3 people unfortunately lost their lives in the violence earlier this month, which took place amidst protests against the Waqf Amendment Act. Before I get you more on that story, listen in to what Sukanta Majumdar had to say about mosque loudspeakers being used to fuel unrest in Murshidabad, a very sensitive border area in Bengal, bordering Bangladesh. Listen in.
Political blame game over Bengal riots escalates. Murshidabad communal violence victims, led by State BJP Chief Sukanta Majumdar, met Governor CV Ananda Bose and DGP Rajiv Kumar at the police headquarters on Thursday.
हमने गवर्नर साहब को पूरा बताया कि what is the situation there, and as well as the locals, those could flee from there, and they are in the refugee camp. They also described the atrocities happened on them, and governor was very concerned. Honorable Governor was very concerned. and he will visit the places tomorrow.
Governor Ananda Bose will be visiting Murshidabad and meeting victims there as well.
What really happened in the field, that's a reality check which I am doing today. I am also meeting some of the victims who have come to meet me here. After taking the views of all sections of society who are affected, then I will tell you what exactly is the report. My sympathies are with the family. I will certainly go there if it is okay with them.
Union Minister Sukanta Majumdar earlier hinted at the role of radical outfit Popular Front of India in Murshidabad riots.
As mentioned by them, the call for riot was given from the loudspeaker of the masjid. If BJP comes into power and this type incident happen, we will ban masjid or any other religion campus which will be used in case of provoking the riots in any area of West Bengal.
Bengal leader of opposition Suvendu Adhikari has moved the Calcutta High Court again, demanding that the NIA be assigned Murshidabad riots investigation. The BJP has also demanded a permanent BSF camp in violence-hit areas and immediate compensation to victims of the clashes. The TMC meanwhile accuses the BJP of inciting Murshidabad riots. The party claimed immediate action was taken in the aftermath of the violence, including the arrest of over 270 suspects, and that homes had been rebuilt.
The victims, we are giving 10 lakhs to each family, and the victims जिसको घर तोड़ा है, जो भी इसमें शामिल है, मैं इन्वेस्टिगेशन का पहले इसको बारे में कुछ टिप्पणी नहीं करेंगे. जो बीजेपी करते हैं उसको सेंट्रल मिनिस्टर करते हैं. इन्वेस्टिगेशन के लिए हम लोगों ने सीट तैयार किया है, लेट देम फाइंड आउट. लेकिन उसको सबको घर हम बांग्ला का बाड़ी बना देंगे.
The police have formed a special investigation team of 9 members to probe the violence that took place in Murshidabad on April 11th.
Amidst all of this fiasco, we see people who were forced to leave their houses, citing that all they want is an assurance that such kind of violence, arson, vandalism will never be repeated in their homeland and they can stay over here in peace. With camera person Shamsundar Ghosh, this is Suryagni Roy for India Today, Murshidabad.
The Calcutta High Court has reserved its order on the continuation of central forces in the violence-hit Murshidabad district of West Bengal. The court has actually suggested a 3-member panel be formed, and this 3-member panel should comprise 1 member of the National Human Rights Commission, the State Human Rights Commission and the State Legal Services Authority. And the court is directed that they visit the affected pockets of the district to oversee the restoration of peace, relief and rehabilitation of displaced people, and then decide and then come to a conclusion. They've reserved their order as of now. Shubhendu Adhikari of the Bharatiya Janata Party had sought permission for the National Investigation Agency to begin probe into the violence in Murshidabad. His lawyer said petrol bombs were hurled during the violence, and in such cases the state has to file a report with the Union Home Ministry, and then it is for the centre to take a decision. Remember, 3 people were killed and 2 people, a father and a son, were dragged out of their homes. They were idol makers. They were people who were engaged in making idols of Ma Durga, Ma Saraswati. They were hacked to death, dragged out of their house and hacked to death in the middle of the road. Anirban Sinha Roy joins us with the latest from Kolkata. Anirban, give us details of the prayer of the petitioner and the observation of the court.
Well, see, the court order is now reserved and we have seen that already the lots of BSF personnel and central forces were being deployed in Murshidabad as well. As we have seen today, what happened is already a seat is formed by police and they have already investigating it, as well as Governor of West Bengal is going to visit Murshidabad and he is leaving today. As a result, we have seen that BJP state president as well as Sukanta Majumdar, who is the MOS of Education, has visited Governor House along with the victim families, and they are saying that in court also the petitioners are saying that only thing that we demand is right now the safety and security of the people, those who are outside the house right now, and those who are fall under the address of the violence hit areas. So right now the politics also is escalating, but the thing that is going on is NHRC team as well as the SIT is investigating, as well the governor of West Bengal, the head of the governor of West Bengal, CV Ananda Bose, is also going to visit Murshidabad.
Stay with me for a moment, and the point that you raised that Governor Anand Bose also plans to visit Murshidabad, and that's led to another controversy in Bengal. It's almost Mamata Banerjee versus Governor over his proposed visit to Murshidabad, because CV Ananda Bose is to visit Murshidabad tomorrow. He will see ground reality himself. Of course, Mamata Banerjee as Chief Minister does not want the governor to visit Murshidabad, and this has led to a situation on ground. So the governor has gone on record to say he wants to visit the violence hit areas. He wants to assess the situation personally, and it's on the basis of that an assessment can be made on the next course of action. So listen in to Mamata Banerjee, also listen in to the Bengal governor.
I'm going to the field to see for myself the realities in the field. Only then I'll be able to make up my mind on the future course of action and give reports to whoever is concerned to implement things. I will certainly have an objective view about the matter, and now that the central forces are also there, situation has been brought under control. Now what we should do is to do the mopping up operation and also take further steps to prevent such instances in future. My field visit is basically meant to understand what has happened in the field and also to make up my mind based on realities of the situation.
আমি রিকোয়েস্ট করব এই মুহূর্তে সিচুয়েশন কেউ যেন আমরা গিয়ে লোকাল ছাড়া আর সিচুয়েশনকে আমরা যেন কেউ কি বলবো যে শান্তির বাতাবরণ ফিরে এসেছে, যে এখন মানুষের কাছে যেটা প্রয়োজন সেটা হচ্ছে কনফিডেন্সটা বিল্ড আপ করা। সেই কাজটা প্রশাসন করছে, তা নাহলে আমি নিজেও যেতে পারতাম। তাহলে আমি যাচ্ছি না কেন? আমি তো যাবো ঠিক টাইমে, এখনই আমি যাওয়া মানে তাহলে আমি গেলে অন্যরা কেন যাবে না? আইন তো ক্যানট বি ডিসক্রিমিনেটেড বিটুইন ওয়ান টু অ্যানাদার। আমি অ্যাপিল করব মাননীয় রাজ্যপাল মহাশয়কে, প্লিজ ওয়েট ফিউ ডেজ মোর। আমাদের স্টেট উইমেন কমিশনও যেতে চেয়েছিল, তাদেরও আমরা বলেছি প্লিজ জাস্ট ওয়েট ফিউ ডেজ মোর, কিছুদিন অপেক্ষা করুন।
Please wait till the situation normalizes and then visit is the request of the Chief Minister to the Governor. I want to once again bring in Anirban Sinha into this conversation. We'll also cut across to Suryagni Roy in a moment, who joins us from ground zero and get an assessment of the situation on ground. But Anirban, the Governor insisting he wants to visit now, the Chief Minister insisting do not visit now. What is this clash? What's the reason for this clash? Why is the situation not okay for the governor to go now?
As we have seen that Mamata Banerjee, CM, already asked people to not to go there. As we have seen that Sukanta Majumdar, who is MOS Education, as well as Shubhendu Adhikari, who is LOP of West Bengal, has sought their permission to court to go to the violence hit areas. And also right now the governor is going. So as this politics is escalating, and also Mamata Banerjee has told everyone as well as the governor to not to go there. And as governor is stand still right now, as he is saying that he will go and assess the situation from his own eyes, and after that he will have to give the report to the concerned authorities. So right now governor who is now heading the state right now, he is going and he will assess the situation and he will give the concerned reports to the concerned authorities.
Stay with me before I bring in Suryagni Roy for more on this story and on the what's the situation right now, because we were told it's slowly getting back to normal. A number of people who had fled Murshidabad had returned to Murshidabad. Some had fled to Malda, but there were some who had actually left Bengal. They were going and living in Jharkhand. They feared for their lives, and this isn't the first time that Hindus have had to leave pockets of Bengal after violence, whether it's in Murshidabad or earlier after the election results came in. Let's first take a look at India Today's Suryagni Roy reporting from Ground Zero in Murshidabad, and he was in one of the relief camps. The situation is such that people haven't been able to return home just as yet.
The vandalism and attack happened on this particular house of the Dases almost a couple of days back, 5 days to be precise. However, what we see over here, the remains are still very, very horrific. This was the main door. It's still vandalized. We can still see remnants of it. The family members are still sobbing inside, and it's extremely a very disturbing situation over here. There are bricks, there are stones which clearly indicate what had happened that particular day. The front part of the house, that's still in a state of shock. You can understand what could have had happened over here and what the family had seen that particular day. There are multiple bricks, stones that are still lying over here. We spoke to the family just a while back. We asked them a question: what is their current situation? How is it that they feel right now? They say that they want the perpetrators of the crime to be hanged, and the state's remuneration is not acceptable to them because they feel that it can happen once again, that again members of their family or someone else can be murdered and a compensation can be given. So compensation is something that they don't seek. All that they want is justice for their slain members. With camera person Shamshuddar Ghosh, this is Suryagni Roy for India Today. We are here at Jafrabad in Murshidabad. This is a school. It's a primary school which has been turned into a community kitchen, and people whose houses have been vandalized and who can't afford to cook right now due to the current situation after the vandalism, they are being given food over here. It's happening for the past 1-2 days. Over here we spoke to multiple of these people who are really anguished. Some of them had gone to Malda. They have returned back to this particular place. Some of them are they haven't left the place, but they, even after their houses were vandalized, they are staying at some relative's place or a friend's place, and thanks to this community kitchen, they are being given food for every time that they need it.
ভয় যে চিন্তা করছে, লুটপাট করছে, আমরা ভয়ে থাকতে পারছি না, মারধর করছে, গলাতে ছেনি লাগিয়ে দিচ্ছে, তার জন্য আমরা ভয়ে থাকতে পারছি না। আর মেয়ে ছেলে একাই, আমার বাড়িতে কোনো বেটা ছেলে নাই, কি করে থাকবো? নাই আমার ছেলে, আমি একাই, কি করে থাকবো বাড়িতে?
যা ছিল কিছু তো নাই বাড়িতে, সব লুটপাট হয়ে গেছে। আর বলছে কি আল্লাহ বল, তোরা তুই আল্লাহ বল, এইভাবে করে বলছে।
বাংলাদেশ থেকে লোকজন এসেছিল, এগুলো
বাইরে থেকে কোনো লোক আসেনি, সব এখানকারই, বাইরেকার লোক কোনো লোক আসেনি। থাকুক এখানে, বিএসএফ থাকুক, পুলিশ থাকুক, সবাই থাকুক, যেন কি আমরা শান্তিভাবে থাকতে পারি। ছেলে মেয়ে তো সব তো বাড়ি ছিনতাই করলে কি করে থাকবো?
আমাদের সুরক্ষার জন্য আমাদের একটাই দাবি যে বিএসএফ ক্যাম্প ছাড়া আমাদের কোনো উপায় নেই।
আমাদের সবারই সুরক্ষিত দরকার।
কেন্দ্র বাহিনী ছাড়া আমাদের কোনো এখানে ক্যাম্প চাই, একটা বিএসএফ ক্যাম্প চাই, তাহলে আমাদের সুরক্ষিত হবে।
আমাদের সুরক্ষার জন্য আমাদের একটাই।
And for the latest, I quickly want to bring in India Today's Suryagni Roy. Suryagni, how many people are still in relief camps? How many people have been able to return home? And does fear still stalk the streets, or is hard action, if at all, being taken against the perpetrators of the violence in Murshidabad?
Well, Gaurav, it's also important to mention the fact that 271 people have been arrested in the arson vandalism case that had, that shock shook the entire country. Now, when it comes to the question that whether the situation is normal, whether, peace has prevailed, the answer is very simple, Gaurav. We have heard it multiple times, but when you're on ground, you can feel it. There's an uneasy calm. Yes, shops are open in those areas of Murshidabad. People are walking, people are buying vegetables, people are speaking to each other. But it's not like what it used to be a week back. That fluency has somewhere, it's gone, and it will take some time. And local leaders over here, not social leaders, when I say, they are trying, the administration is trying, the BSF, Central Force, police, all of them are trying to build some kind of a confidence in the people that, look, what has happened is something extremely gory, and such kind of a thing will never be repeated again. We saw the community kitchens over there. We spoke to the family members of the victims, the Hargobind Das and Chandan Das. All of them are still in a state of shock. This is something that they never thought in their worst nightmares, that something of this kind. Okay. Imagine, like, someone just vandalizing your door and entering and stabbing a family member. That kind of an environment was never really here. This is what the locals have claimed, and they feel that the state, the centre, everyone, whosoever is coming tomorrow, they should come with a solution that such kind of incidents shall never be repeated here and anywhere. Back to you.
So I want to understand from you, Suryagni, that when Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee says the rioters came from outside, they were facilitated by the border security force to illegally come into India, carry out the riots, violence, arson, vandalism and murder. 2 people were killed, the third apparently in police firing. How did these outsiders know who to target, which houses to target, who to kill? Was there local help, and is there reaction to Sukanta Majumdar? He's the state BJP chief, he's union minister for education, of state for education, when he says mosque loudspeakers were used to incite people. This was done last in 1990 in Kashmir, when radical Islamists shouted Raliv, Galiv, Saliv from loudspeakers in Kashmir, and the Hindu community was ousted from the valley. Are we seeing a repeat of that? Is there anything that backs what Sukanta Majumdar is saying?
Well, the locals over here, they feel that these were not really outsiders. I spoke to many of them, men, women, old people. They are of the opinion, and it's on record, that they are of the opinion that it was people who were in and around of this of the area that saw the violence. Now it's completely on the investigation. There's still in reserve order whether NIA will be taking it or not. There's a sit that's investigating this matter since today morning itself. It's these people have to look out and have to find out whether or not, first of all, whether or not there were any outsiders in it, because this outsider debate, outsider theory, maybe for once in the history of Bengal's politics or the politics of the past 10 years, Gaurav, we see the Trinamool Congress, we see the BJP speaking on somewhat similar lines. Both of them are stating that there were outsiders. Yes. Now, there are allegations on each other, that's a different part. But if there were outsiders, then that has to be extremely investigated to know how these people came in, who these people were, and was it, a planned, movement of outsiders who just came in and just did what they did, or whether, it was a very sporadic, incident. So these are the questions that only a proper investigation, be it by the SIT, be it by NIA, or be it by any agency of this world, can only unearth and only can find out what had happened, or rather what led to the fiasco, to that arson, to that vandalism that,
absolutely
rocked and shocked Murshidabad. Back to you.
And the nation. Keep tracking that story, Anirban and Suryagni. I will come back to both of you for more on this very, very disturbing story. And this is very disturbing also because, remember, India has suffered in the past. This young generation may not remember, but in 1990, similar mosque loudspeakers were used in Kashmir Valley. Raliv, Galiv, ya Saliv. Either you leave or you convert to Islam, and if you're leaving, then leave your women behind. This is what was shouted and chanted from mosque loudspeakers in Kashmir, and Hindu Kashmiri Pandits, they were thrown out of the Kashmir Valley. They still haven't been able to return in large numbers. Are we seeing a repeat of that 35 years later? Is this an isolated incident? It's all a matter of investigation, but history must not be permitted to repeat itself. Those who refuse to learn from history are condemned to repeat it. I now want to shift focus to the other big story we're tracking here on 5 Live. And that's trouble mounting. The Madras High Court has now directed that an FIR be filed against Tamil Nadu Minister Ponmudi for his vulgar remarks where he compared the Hindu tilak to sex symbols, if I may. Earlier today, a lawyer had approached the Madras High Court seeking action against Ponmudi for his obscene remarks against Shaivism and Vaishnavism. After nationwide outrage, and this outrage wasn't restricted just to Tamil Nadu, Ponmudi was sacked as DMK party general secretary or party secretary, deputy secretary of the party, but not as the minister in the state. He continues as minister in the MK Stalin government. I'll get you more on that story, but first listen in to what he said. The nationwide outrage, the DMK, at least there was some in DMK who criticized him, and this led to some action being taken against him, but there are others who say, how dare he make these remarks? He has of course apologized, but should action be taken in terms of 1, an FIR, and 2, should he be removed as minister? Can such a person continue as minister? Listen in.
போகும்போது அங்க அந்த அம்மா கேக்குது, நீ பார்த்து நீங்க சைவமா வைணவமா அப்படின்னு கேக்குது. அவனுக்கு ஒன்றும் புரியல. அவன் பணம் எவ்வளோ 5 கொடு 10 கொடுன்னு கேட்டான்னா ரைட்டு. என்னடா இங்க வந்திருக்கிறோம் நாம ஒரு விலை மாதிரி வீட்டுக்கு நம்மளை சைவமா வைணவமான்னு கேட்குறாங்க அப்படின்னு கேட்டான். அந்த அம்மா சொல்லிச்சான், என்னம்மா ஒன்றும் புரியலையே அப்படின்ட்டான். ஒன்றும் இல்லை, சைவம்னா இப்படி வைணவம்னா இப்படின்னுச்சான். ஒன்றும் புரியல. சைவம்னா இப்படி வைணவம்னா இப்படி. ஒன்றும் புரியல. என்னவா சொல்ற, இதுன்னா அது தெய்வம் இது தானே, அதுல என்ன இருக்கு அப்படின்னா, இல்ல சைவம்னா படுத்துக்கிறது, வைணவம்னா நின்னுங்கிறது.
So you heard that statement. There was massive outrage with that statement. My colleague Anagha Keshav joins me live from Chennai for more on this. Give us details, Anagha, of the prayer in court by the petitioner, which directed, where the court directed an FIR be registered against the minister.
Well, in fact, Gaurav, there was also a PIL that was registered at the Madras High Court by an advocate called Jagannath, demanding that Minister Ponmudi should be disqualified from his position, from his constitutional position that he holds as a minister. So he had filed a PIL seeking for his ousting from the ministerial position. Now we have a big update that's coming from the Madras High Court, a huge setback for Minister Ponmudi. In fact, he had also given an apology letter saying that he regrets what came out of his mouth, but the Madras High Court says that the High Court has directed police to register an FIR by April 23rd, and if failed to do so, the High Court will register a suo motu case, is what the High Court has said. In fact, I just want to read out one small excerpt from what the judge said. The judge said that there is no escape from this. Just register one FIR and proceed with it. The law is same for everybody. When government takes others' hate speeches so seriously, the same must be done when a minister himself makes it. So that's the very strong statement that's coming from the judge, saying that the law is same for everybody, whether you are a part of the government or whether you're in the opposition, or even if you are a common citizen, the law is same to everyone, is what the Madras High Court is saying, thereby directing Chennai police, the Madras police to Tamil Nadu police to register an FIR against Minister Ponmudi for his statements against Shaivism, Vaishnavism, the religious denomination and against women in general by April 23rd, and if failing to do so, a suo motu case will be picked up by the Madras High Court against Ponmudi.
Keep tracking that story. I will come back to you for more on this. And it actually, there's a question that why is it that he's been removed as from the party post but not as Forest Minister of Tamil Nadu? Perhaps we'll see more clarity from the MK Stalin government here. But for the moment, I now want to shift focus and take you to what's happening within the Bharatiya Janata Party. We are now being told that the party has accelerated the process of electing the new party president. On Tuesday, senior BJP leaders, including Union Home Minister Amit Shah, the BJP President Jagat Prakash Nadda, they met to deliberate on the appointment of the new state unit chiefs of several states. So Uttar Pradesh, Gujarat, Madhya Pradesh, Karnataka and Odisha. So far, the information is 14 state presidents have been appointed. But as per the party constitution, election must be held in at least 19 states. So 14 done, 19 in all have to be done before the party national president can be elected and that election process can begin. So according to party leaders, the election could take place either by the end of this month or by early next month. Party sources are also telling India Today that a meeting of the union cabinet was held this week, but that wasn't pre-scheduled, and that's led to speculation about the political churn currently underway within the BJP's leadership structure. Now, joining me now for more on this, my colleagues Himanshu Mishra and Piyush Mishra, and few know activities within the BJP more than these two reporters with a ear to the ground. Himanshu, क्या अब बात कहां तक पहुंची है? कौन होगा भारतीय जनता पार्टी का अगला अध्यक्ष? जो चुनाव प्रक्रिया है अभी बहुत धीरे चल रही थी, फिर एकाएक उसमें कुछ रफ्तार पकड़ी गई है। क्या आप हमें बता सकते हैं इस चुनाव प्रक्रिया के बारे में?
कोई दो राय नहीं है कि पिछले 24 घंटे के अंदर जो है एकदम से सरगर्मियां बढ़ी हैं भारतीय जनता पार्टी में। कल होम मिनिस्टर अमित शाह के घर पर जेपी नड्डा की मुलाकात हुई। उस मुलाकात के अंदर 6 राज्यों के स्टेट प्रेसिडेंट को लेकर चर्चा हुई है। बंगाल है, उत्तर प्रदेश है, गुजरात है, कर्नाटक है, मध्य प्रदेश है, उड़ीसा है। इन राज्यों के प्रदेश अध्यक्षों को लेकर जो है वो चर्चा शुरू हो गई है और जल्द ही इन राज्यों के अंदर जो प्रदेश अध्यक्ष का नॉमिनेशन है वो कराया जाएगा और उसके बाद जो है बीजेपी के नए अध्यक्ष को लेकर नॉमिनेशन की प्रक्रिया शुरू होगी और ये लगता है कि अप्रैल के लास्ट वीक और मई के फर्स्ट वीक के अंदर जो है भारतीय जनता पार्टी को नया अध्यक्ष मिल जाएगा। लेकिन बड़ी बात यह है कि भारतीय जनता पार्टी का अगला अध्यक्ष कौन होगा। जिन नामों को लेकर एक स्पेकुलेशन है उनमें धर्मेंद्र प्रधान, भूपेंद्र यादव हैं, प्रहलाद जोशी हैं, जी किशन रेड्डी हैं, मनोहर लाल खट्टर, शिवराज सिंह चौहान, ये तमाम वो नाम है जो चर्चाओं में है। भारतीय जनता पार्टी के तमाम छोटे बड़े नेताओं से अगर आप बात करेंगे तो इन नामों को लेकर वो चर्चा जरूर करेंगे। लेकिन अगला अध्यक्ष कौन होगा ये एक बड़ा सवाल है और ये बात प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी
संघ के साथ
देखिए बिल्कुल संघ के साथ भारतीय जनता पार्टी का कोऑर्डिनेशन, देखिए संघ के साथ मुझे लगता है अभी भी डिस्कशन चल रहा है और गौरव आप भी जानते हैं, मैं भी जानता हूं, संघ को आप बहुत अच्छी तरीके से जानते समझते हैं और संघ के साथ जो कंसल्टेशन है वो भारतीय जनता पार्टी की तरफ से किया जा रहा है। लगातार जो आइस ब्रेक है उसको करने की कोशिश की जा रही है और इसीलिए मुझे लगता है कि इस इलेक्शन को थोड़ा टाला गया। लेकिन जैसे जैसे संघ के साथ बातचीत अगले अध्यक्ष को लेकर आगे बढ़ रही है, भारतीय जनता पार्टी के अंदर जो स्टेट प्रेसिडेंट्स के इलेक्शन है उनको जल्दी ही जो है फिनिश करने के बाद जो है नए पार्टी अध्यक्ष के नॉमिनेशन की प्रक्रिया जो है शुरू हो जाएगी। लेकिन इतना जरूर है किस नाम पर सहमति बनेगी अभी वो डिस्कशन में है, कंसल्टेशन के अंदर है। लेकिन जितने नाम चल रहे हैं वो सभी प्रोमिनेंट फेस है भारतीय जनता पार्टी के। उन्होंने बड़ी बड़ी भूमिकाएं जो है रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटीज पार्टी के अंदर निभाई हैं। शिवराज सिंह चौहान जो है मध्य प्रदेश के एक लंबे समय तक 18 साल तक मुख्यमंत्री रहे। उनके साथ मनोहर लाल खट्टर हैं, 10 साल के करीब जो है मुख्यमंत्री रह चुके हैं केंद्र सरकार में। अभी बहरहाल उनके पास 2 बड़े डिपार्टमेंट हैं, यूडी और पावर। उनके अलावा अगर आप देखेंगे जी किशन रेड्डी तेलंगाना के अध्यक्ष रह चुके हैं। सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट के अंदर जो है उनके पास एक बड़ी रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी है। प्रहलाद जोशी कर्नाटक के बड़े चेहरे हैं, साउथ के बड़े चेहरे अगर कहें ब्राह्मण फेस हैं। उनके ऊपर जिम्मेदारी दी जा सकती है। तो तमाम धर्मेंद्र प्रधान हैं, वो युवा मोर्चा के अध्यक्ष हैं, पिछले 11 साल से वो मंत्री हैं, भारतीय जनता पार्टी के महासचिव रह चुके हैं, भूपेंद्र यादव भारतीय जनता पार्टी के महासचिव रह चुके हैं और बहरहाल वो अभी केंद्र सरकार में वो भी मंत्री हैं। तो एक कई तरीके के नामों को लेकर चर्चा है, लेकिन इतना जरूर है कास्ट कॉम्बिनेशंस, साथ साथ संगठन के अंदर एक्सपीरियंस, ये सब काउंट होगा जब नए अध्यक्ष को लेकर फैसला लिया जाएगा। लेकिन इतना जरूर है कुछ आइस ब्रेक हुआ है और उस आइस ब्रेक के बाद जो है ये कंसल्टेशन का जो प्रोसेस है वो तेज हुआ है।
Stay with me for a moment. Let me also bring in Piyush Mishra into this conversation, because the challenges for the new party president would be immense, taking this battle forward and ensuring that the party and the Sangh are on the same page, the leadership both of the party and the Sangh. So wo jo talmel banakar aage chalne ki baat hai, Piyush, that would be extremely critical.
Well, certainly that will be extremely critical, because the new president of BJP will have a lot of responsibility to carry forward the winning streak of BJP. Remember that under the leadership of JP Nadda, BJP has performed so well that it has been able to not only form the government in center for 2 times, but also in multiple states we have seen how BJP has come back. They were the same BJP that Delhi and West Bengal are the two states where BJP can never form the government, but under the leadership of JP Nadda, BJP has been formed the government in the national capital, and now the elections are also to take place in West Bengal. So before that, BJP would ensure that they elect a president who can certainly drive the party to a victory in West Bengal. And before West Bengal, we also have the elections in Bihar. So before that, BJP would certainly ensure that they have a big space which can drive party to victory in Bihar also. So looking at all the caste combinations, BJP has been mulling on the multiple names, like Himanshu also pointed out about the names of Dharmendra Pradhan, ML Khattar, Shivraj Singh Chauhan and various others whose names are in fray. And in the last 2 to 3 days, Gaurav, we have seen hectic parleys taking place. Yes. Top leaders of BJP, including Home Minister Amit Shah, JP Nadda, they are also meeting. In fact, day before yesterday, also there was a meeting at JP Nadda's residence. So, what we are now learning from our sources is that by the end of this month or by the first week of May, we can have the new BJP national president, and only a formal announcement has to be made, because the election process in 6 states has almost been completed. And the moment BJP completes the number to 19, it will certainly move ahead to announce, to elect its new national president.
Oh, absolutely. और हिमांशु, एक बात तो तय है, 2024 के चुनाव के नतीजों से, उसके बाद दिल्ली के चुनाव के नतीजों से ये बात तो भारतीय जनता पार्टी को भी पता चल गई है कि संघ की कितनी महत्वपूर्ण भूमिका रहती है, और खासतौर पर संघ को भी ये बात पता है कि जितना उनका ध्येय है या लक्ष्य रहा है, उसको आगे बढ़ाने में प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी की कितनी महत्वपूर्ण भूमिका रही है पिछले 11 वर्षों में। तो ऐसी परिस्थिति में दोनों किस तरह से आगे बढ़ने का प्रयास कर रहे हैं, हिमांशु?
देखिए, बिल्कुल इसमें कोई दो राय नहीं है कि भारतीय जनता पार्टी जो है वो संघ का एक अनुशासित संगठन है, जहां संघ के द्वारा जो है वो प्रचारकों को भेजा जाता है, संगठन मंत्रियों को भेजा जाता है राज्यों में, सेंट्रल लेवल में। लेकिन एक चीज गौरव समझनी होगी, संघ और भारतीय जनता पार्टी की जो विचारधारा है, जो एजेंडे थे, धारा 370 का हो, यूसीसी हो, या आप कहें राम मंदिर के निर्माण का कार्य हो, वो सब पिछले 11 सालों के सरकार के कामकाज के दौरान ही हुआ है, सरकार के इनिशिएटिव्स पर हुआ है। तो कहीं ना कहीं जो संघ के एजेंडे थे उनको फुलफिल किया गया है। लेकिन ये एक सोचने वाली बात है, संघ इस चीज को लेकर भी चिंतित है कि भारतीय जनता पार्टी का परिवार बड़ा हुआ है, इसमें कोई दो राय नहीं है। लेकिन कई ऐसे स्टेट्स हैं जहां भारतीय जनता पार्टी का जो ओरिजिनल कार्यकर्ता है, यानी स्वयंसेवक हो या एबीवीपी से आया हो, यह भारतीय जनता पार्टी का मूल कार्यकर्ता, वो नहीं, उनको जिम्मेदारी दी गई है। अगर आप देखें, पंजाब में सुनील जाखड़ को दी गई, या अन्ना मलाई को तमिलनाडु में ये जिम्मेदारी दी गई, या अन्य प्रदेशों के अंदर मुख्यमंत्री या उप मुख्यमंत्रियों का दायित्व जो है वो बाहर से आए लोगों को मिला। ये बात सही है कि वो लोग आते हैं, पार्टी के अंदर एक नई जान आती है, एक स्ट्रेंथ बनती है, लेकिन फिर भी ये मानना कि संगठन की जो जिम्मेदारी है वो मूल कार्यकर्ताओं को दी जाए, जो कार्यकर्ताओं की बात को समझे और भारतीय जनता पार्टी का जो संगठनात्मक रोड मैप है उसको समझे, वो ज्यादा जरूरी है। और अगर आप देखेंगे तो इस धारणा में इस बार जितने प्रदेश अध्यक्ष 14 अभी तक घोषित हुए हैं, उनमें ज्यादातर जो हैं 80% से ज्यादा वो भारतीय जनता पार्टी के मूल कार्यकर्ता हैं, और इस बात को भारतीय जनता पार्टी पूरी तरीके से जानती है। इसीलिए संघ के साथ उनका कंसल्टेशन चल रहा है, बहुत ज्यादा डिस्कशन हुआ है इस बार राष्ट्रीय अध्यक्ष को लेकर। आप देखिए कि जेपी नड्डा 2023 में 20 जनवरी को जो है उनको एक्सटेंशन मिला था लोकसभा चुनाव के बाद तक, लेकिन उसमें भी अब 9 महीने ज्यादा हो चुके हैं। और ये कहीं ना कहीं एक चीज जरूर है कि नया अध्यक्ष कौन होगा, इसको लेकर संघ और बीजेपी कई नामों पर चर्चा कर रहा है। अब इस मंथन में किसका नाम निकल कर आएगा, किसको अमृत मिलेगा, ये देखने वाली बात है।
तो अमृत मंथन
लेकिन जो भी होगा वो कहीं ना कहीं संघ और भारतीय जनता पार्टी के बीच में जो दूरियां हैं उसको कम करने की कोशिश भी होगी।
ठीक है, तो वो ब्रिज बिल्डर भी होगा, ब्रिज बनकर उभरेगा। आप दोनों इस बड़ी खबर पर नजर बनाए रखिए। ताजा जानकारी के लिए फिर आपके पास लौटूंगा। फॉर ज्वाइनिंग मी हियर ऑन इंडिया टुडे, पीयूष एंड हिमांशु, मेनी थैंक्स। सो द न्यू president of the Bharatiya Janata Party would be a choice approved both by the Sangh and the party leadership, is what our reporters are reporting. Another big story here on India Today. That's Vice President Jagdeep Dhankar. He's launched a frontal attack on certain comments that have been made. The Vice President has slammed the Supreme Court deadline for the President and governors on bills that have been sent for approval. The Vice President Jagdeep Dhankar has said judiciary is working like the super parliament right now, and he's mentioned this article 142 of the Constitution that gives special powers to the Supreme Court, and he says that's actually become like a nuclear missile. Article 142 is being used against democratic forces. That's a very strong statement for the Vice President of India to make. The Vice President's strong remarks against the judiciary come on the heels of the Supreme Court order in a Tamil Nadu case, in which the Supreme Court said Governor R.N. Ravi's decision to withhold assent to 10 bills was illegal and arbitrary. The bench comprising Justice J.B. Pardiwala and Justice R. Mahadevan effectively set a 3-month deadline for the presidential for the president's assent and the governor's assent to bills passed by the legislature for the second time. The court also said the president's functions are amenable to judicial review under section 201 of the Constitution. The Supreme Court had also said in the judgment that only courts have the prerogative to provide recommendations regarding the constitutionality of the bill, and the executive is supposed to exercise restraint in such manners. The Supreme Court underlined that it would be prudent for the President to refer bills with constitutional questions to the Supreme Court. Listen in to Jagdeep Dhankar.
We cannot have a situation where you direct President of India, and on what basis? The only right you have under the Constitution is to interpret the Constitution under Article 145(3). There it has to be 5 judges or more, boys and girls. When Article 145(3) was there, the number of judges in the Supreme Court was 8. 5 out of 8. Now 5 out of 30 and odd. But forget about it. The judges who issued a mandamus virtually to the President and presented a scenario it will be law of the land have forgotten the power of the Constitution. How can that combination of judges deal with something under Article 145(3) is preserved? It was then for 5 out of 8. We need to make amends in that also now. 5 out of 8 would mean interpretation will be by majority. Because 5 constitutes more than majority in 8.
I want to quickly bring in India Today's Piyush Mishra for more on this. Piyush, this is almost like trench warfare, and the Vice President is digging in the heels on the side of the legislature, indicating that everyone must remain in their limits, in Maryada. So is this the beginning of a massive confrontation with the judiciary?
Well, it seems like, Gaurav, we remember that soon after forming the government in 2014, we have seen multiple instances where the ministers of the government also have had a confrontation with the Supreme Court judges. We remember as to how on the issue of NJAC, on the issue of collegium, multiple times differing statements have come from the government representatives. But this time, Vice President Jagdeep Dhankar has gone on to say as to how court can give directions to the President of India. He is also saying that the few articles are being used as nuclear missiles, and this statement somewhere is going to draw a better line between government and Supreme Court. Remember that when a judge, Justice Verma, was also found embroiled in cash found at his residence. At the time also, Jagdeep Dhankar was the first person to have pointed out to have a detailed discussion on this entire matter on the floor of the House. In fact, he had also advocated to bring back NJAC. We still remember that the Modi government, when it was formed in 2014, the first thing the government did was to bring up NJAC, which was struck down by the Supreme Court. After that, Kiran Rijiju, when he was the law minister, he had made various comments on collegium system. So following which we are now seeing Jagdeep Dhankar is coming out and also saying as to how courts can direct the President of India. We'll have to wait and watch how the opposition political parties are going to comment on this, but it is certainly going to stir another controversy between opposition and the government.
Okay, keep a track of that. I'll come back to you for more. India has shown Pakistan its place after Pakistan Army Chief made that Kashmir remains their jugular vein remark or words to that effect. Pakistan's Army Chief sounds more like a Maulana and less like a general. But India said Pakistan's only link to Kashmir is Pakistan's illegal occupation of Jammu and Kashmir and a part of Jammu and Kashmir since 1947. Incidentally, that also includes Gilgit and Baltistan that Pakistan calls its northern areas. And India has very clearly said, and you listen into Ranadhir Jaiswal, the spokesperson for the Ministry of External Affairs, when he says, how can anything foreign be in a jugular vein? But clearly that Pakistan's mullah generals will never understand. But listen in to what the spokesperson for the Ministry of External Affairs had to say. I'll also get you to listen to what Pakistan's Maulana generals say.
How can anything foreign be in there in a jugular vein? This is a union territory of India. Its only relationship with Pakistan is the vacation of illegally occupied territories by that country.
पाकिस्तान की कहानी अपने बच्चों को जो है आपने जरूर सुनानी है ताकि वो पाकिस्तान की कहानी ना भूलें. Well, our forefathers, they thought that we are different from the Hindus in every possible aspect of life. Our religion is different. Our customs are different. Our traditions are different. Our thoughts are different. Our ambitions are different. That was the foundation of the two-nation theory that was laid there. That we are two nations. We are not one nation. So because of that, our forefathers, they struggled, mounted that incessant struggle to create this country. Our forefathers, they have sacrificed immensely, and we have sacrificed a lot for the creation of this country, and we know how to defend it. My dear brothers and sisters and sons and daughters, please don't forget the story of Pakistan, and don't forget to narrate the story of Pakistan to your next generation, so that their bond with Pakistan, it never weakens. Whether it is the third generation or the fourth generation or the fifth generation, they know that what Pakistan is for them. आज तक इंसानियत की तारीख में सिर्फ दो रियासतें हैं जो कलमे की बुनियाद पर बनी हैं. पहली जो थी उसका नाम है रियासत तैयबा, क्योंकि तैयबा जो है वो नबी करीम सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि वसल्लम ने उसको नाम दिया था, और जबकि कुरान में उसका नाम है यसरब, या अहले यसरिबा ला मुकाम लकुम फरजिउ, ये कुरान में नाम है उसका, जो आज जिसको मदीना अल मुनव्वरा कहा जाता है। और दूसरी रियासत जो है वो उसके 1300 साल के बाद अल्लाह ताला ने ये आपकी बनाई है कलमे की बुनियाद के ऊपर।
He sounds more like a Maulana at some mosque pulpit in Pakistan and less of a general, clearly lacking what many in the army say OLQ or officer-like qualities. But I want to now shift focus to the other big story. Revelations from a former Raw Chief's book, his new book, and they've sent political ripples across Jammu and Kashmir. Now in his new book, the former Research and Analysis Wing Chief A.S. Dulat has claimed that National Conference patron Dr. Farooq Abdullah privately supported revocation of Article 370 even as he publicly condemned it. The fallout has been massive, ramifications heavy. That former National Security Advisor M.K. Narayanan, in writing the foreword of this book, the Chief Minister and the Spy, actually said that Mr. Dulat has emotional attachment not just to Kashmir but also to Farooq Abdullah. Mr. Abdullah, incidentally, has distanced himself completely from these remarks and said no friend of mine could have written like this. Take a look.
Former Raw Chief A.S. Dulat, in his new book, The Chief Minister and the Spy, has made some startling claims. Dulat says that former Jammu and Kashmir Chief Minister Farooq Abdullah privately backed the abrogation of Article 370, a move he had called a betrayal in public. The former spy chief goes a step further, writing that the National Conference might have even supported the move in Parliament, had the centre taken it into confidence. Dulat's claim have sparked a political firestorm in Jammu and Kashmir. The opposition questioned the National Conference in their stand, labelling Abdullah and his party as hypocrites.
ये नेशनल कॉन्फ्रेंस थे, इससे पहले 2014 में भी ये रातों को जाके मिलते थे अमित शाह साहब से, उमर साहब कि पीडीपी के साथ सरकार मत बनाओ, हमारे साथ बनाओ, और बिला शर्त व शुरू। तो ये कोई नई बात नहीं है इनके लिए।
जब एक पार्टी सारा इलेक्शन जो है 370 की बुनियाद पर और बीजेपी के खिलाफ लड़ती है और फिर उसके बाद मालूम पड़ता है कि ये खुद उनकी गोद में बैठे थे, ये हिपोक्रेसी नहीं है तो फिर क्या?
The National Conference is pushing back hard, accusing Dulat of peddling fiction.
मुझे लगता है वो सिर्फ रेलेवेंस अपने करना चाहते हैं, इट्स अ फिगमेंट ऑफ इमेजिनेशन, इसमें कुछ नहीं है, अपने आप की रेलेवेंस लाना चाहते हैं। ये बुक खुद ही अपनी बात को कॉन्ट्रडिक्ट करता है।
अगर ऐसा कुछ है तो इट्स वेरी अनफॉर्चुनेट, बट आई बिलीव कि ऐसा कुछ नहीं होगा एंड डॉक्टर साहब का इस पे स्टेटमेंट आना चाहिए। दे शुड, आई मीन ही शुड स्पीक अबाउट इट।
And in a twist in the tale, Dulat has come out to clear the air.
ये फारूक अब्दुल्ला के बारे में है। It's an appreciation of Dr. Farooq Abdullah, the great man. ये फजूल ने एक फिक्रा कहीं से ले लिया और कह दिया मे बी, वो उन्होंने कहा मे बी।
Dulat's book has reignited Kashmir's most sensitive political debate, and the storm, it seems, is just getting bigger. Bureau Report, India Today.
So as the US-China the tariff war escalates, US President Donald Trump has said China wants to meet him. Donald Trump says every nation, including China, wants to meet. Donald Trump took to social media platform Truth Social to say, and I quote, had a very productive call with the President of Mexico yesterday. Likewise, I met with the highest level of Japanese trade representatives. It was a very productive meeting. Every nation, including China, wants to meet. Today, Italy, unquote. So very, very clearly, Donald Trump is indicating that the world is falling in line. Of course, China has said that the retaliatory tariffs imposed by the United States of America are illegal. They had in the past announced responsive retaliatory tariffs, and that's a story we'll be tracking closely. But that is all I have for you on 5 Live this evening.